So for assignment number 2, for the first video, the summary that I ended up with was that participatory culture is a world where everyone participates in, regardless of their age, race, or education, and they produce and share the media they create. They acquire a skill by doing participatory culture, and they could translate those skills into the classroom or workspace. It also translates into changing society, and research found that high school age students had a richer, more intellectual, creative life outside of school rather than inside, and the things they did and the things they cared about happened once the school day was over. And my reaction to this is that it's generally true, because me, when I was in high school, the things that I did regarding participatory culture, which was like arts, even sports, was outside of school. And I would film the sports and create like a highlight mixtape of myself and of different athletes, and I would just share that with everybody. For the second reading with Mimi Ito was that there was a diversity with what kids were doing and learning online, and there was more of a friendship-driven participation influenced by social behavior. And she used the term geeking out a lot, which refers to making YouTube videos, remixing videos, creating podcasts, and fan fiction. And she mentions how adults have a complicated role, because their role is more of taking care of the kids and making sure they're not doing what they're not supposed to do. And my reaction to this is that it is true for adults that their role is complicated, because they want the best for the kids, and they don't always know what they're doing online, so their intentions are good, but most kids won't see that. They just see that the adults are just looming over everything they're doing and just kind of keeping them in a tight space, in a tight bubble with what they're doing online. And that makes them not want to be as creative, because the adult's presence just makes it more complicated for them. And also a point that she mentioned was what they learn outside of school matters what they learn in school, and I thought that was very interesting, because, well, I think it's true. For the third video of the influence of participatory culture on education is how students learn on their own using social media. And having a system of informal learning is important for students, because that way they learn about things that actually interest them, and they don't feel pressured by educators to perform to certain standards. And then a point they mentioned that I want to react to is that education being an open source will make it easier, but however, schools don't want that because they see that as a form of cheating, and I completely disagree with that, because two minds is better than one. Collaborating is better than being limited to oneself, because if oneself doesn't know the answer to something, then they just feel like they can't do it. But if they have a classmate there to help them, then they could easily figure out whatever they're struggling on. And for the last reading, I really liked Blake Ross and his example, because at the age of 14, he did start Firefox, or he didn't. Well, he got the internship and ended up creating Firefox through participatory culture, because he was so good at coding, that doing it on his own, on his free time, that he just ended up creating it, which is a good example as to how learning outside of school could affect what they learned inside, and eventually make them all media creators. And yeah, thank you.